Hi everyone, I regret to inform you that I have COVID. It was my birthday a few days ago. We went and we thought it'd be a fun idea to go and camp at the new house for a little while in sleeping bags. Went out for a meal and just had a nice time, and I think that's probably where I got it. So basically I haven't had time and I haven't really felt up for making like a really complex, interesting new feature technique demo. You know, one of those really nice, impressive things that no one's ever done before. Ooh, yeah, come to Kurt for all the really cool techniques. No, we're not going to do that today. We're going to take a look at some things that have been happening in the community, and also while I was at the new house, I recorded a little sneak preview of the new studio space. So I think we'll start with that, and then we'll talk about some community stuff. So studio space, let's take a look. All right, hi everyone. I'm going to show you the new studio space. I'm just whispering because there are other people in the house. So let's go and take a look. Let there be light. Ta-da! Welcome to the studio space. So we finally have it. It's all very exciting. And you might recognize this from like the designing my studio in Blender. That would be the digital space in the corner where we'd have the computer and stuff. I think this was originally the admin space. Although I'm going to move it over there, I think, because I'll explain why in a minute. But yeah, this is it. Look at all of it. Da, 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 da. We'd have the negative space with the extendable green screen. I might put a turntable in as well if we're doing photogrammetry type stuff. I've got a robot arm, which I had an idea for using as like a monitor mount, so we can move it around and point the monitors in different ways without having to do it manually. We could have different programs preset to have it point in different directions. That could be cool. There's a garage door there, which we might replace with a patio door or like some kind of sliding door, so we could have natural light come in. But they do blackout ones as well, which is quite interesting. That might be handy. There's also the option to extend the size of the garage a bit further out that way, but we'll, see if that's viable. I could hear someone above a second ago, and it's a bit of a weird layout because that's technically part of the garden. It's a bit weird to explain. But anyway, the reason why I was thinking of having the admin space over this side now is because one thing we didn't notice was that the old owners already had a kind of sink space put in. So I think it kind of just makes a bit more sense to have that over here where we can just, chill and respond to messages and do all kinds of stuff. And maybe this could be a good location for doing the recordings for like the secondary channel and the podcast and stuff like that. But yeah, one thing that's going to be a bit weird to get used to is just the space, because all of my work so far has been done within that 2.5 by 2.5 meter room. And now look at all of this. As we get feedback from the architect as well, then maybe I'll be able to update my design process and do similar videos to the one from before and just see how it goes. Yeah, I'm hoping that once we get it all going and, get all the artificial lighting setups and all the technology in place, we can finally start using the render beast as well. I've got that computer kind of packed up at the moment because just anticipating when we're moving to the studio. I thought it'd be nice to move into the studio and have the new computer right there ready to use. So yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. And I know it sounds weird, but let me just do this, because you really take for granted that in my bedroom there's no space to stretch out. Like I can't even play VR or do anything like that. So yes. Oh well, all right then. So yeah, this is a little preview. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're looking forward to seeing what else we do with this space. So yeah, thanks. Ooh, a dead spider, yay! So that's cool, right? I think it's going to be exciting to see how that turns out. But now we're going to talk about some new things that have been happening in the community. And there's also like a few add-ons I want to share and talk about because I think they deserve some extra screen time. And by the way, don't be too worried about the COVID. Well, be a little bit worried. Just be a tiny bit worried for me. I'm immunosuppressed. So I've had 4 jabs and we'll see if they work. So the first thing we're going to talk about is not really an exciting new update or feature or new project. It's just something that I think people should be aware of. So Blenderesse is a really cool website where you can share your artwork, obviously made in Blender, and you can get lots of nice feedback on it. It's a pretty cool platform actually. It feels quite like a social media site in a way. But they made a bit of a change to their policies recently in regards to NFTs. And we don't really talk about NFTs too much on this channel, but of course I did my video a little while ago, the We Have to Talk About It one, where I talked about the copyright issues I'd been encountering where people had been taking my artwork and re-uploading it, minting it as NFTs. And I talked about, the process of speaking to the different companies and how much they don't give a damn. And, it's all very, very legally questionable. But anyway, Blenderesse, as noted by this post by Bart here, says we're restricting the promotion of NFTs on Blenderesse. So just to read this quickly, we've been seeing an uptake in the number of NFT related posts here on Blenderesse during the last few months. While sharing the art is great, many of them appear to be posted here only to link to NFT marketplaces, and we feel this devalues our community. Going forward, we will be moderating any posts, artwork or otherwise, the link to an NFT marketplace. This includes, but is not limited to, sites like OpenSea, Rarible, and Mintable. Posting NFT related jobs in jobs paid work will still be allowed. I think that's perfectly fair and sensible. I don't think anyone would reasonably be against that unless they just wanted to use the website for exploitative reasons. The last thing we want is 50,000 different versions of a very low effort piece of artwork strictly put on there for the purpose of trying to push a sale. Like, no one wants that. I think, as Bart says, it would just really devalue the community. So yeah, I just thought I would make people aware of that. You know, if you're ever interested in posting on Blender artists, do it for the artwork. Anyway, a new project which was, I think, kind of surprisingly announced on the 31st of January is Watchtower. So Watchtower is a storyboarding piece of software which was developed during the creation of Sprite Fright, the new open Blender short, originally as a Blender add-on called Edit Breakdown, and subsequently as a web application. You can check out a live demo and a features overview here. And actually, why don't I just show you the live demo, because on this page, if we go to, here we go, live demo, you can see how it works. It's basically a storyboarding piece of software for if you're making short films. And I think it's really handy because they've made this available to everyone now. So you can give it a try and play around with it for yourself. I think that's really cool. Oh wait, hold on. Did I just say cool? What's going on? There's something in my mind. Something's calling me back. Oh yeah, I got a comment from a guy in my last video about the voxel systems and the potential of them with geometry nodes. And there was a bit in that video where I said that when I was using the scatter map node to make voxels kind of randomly distribute around a shape, I said I like this because it just feels really cool. I like this because this just feels really cool. And someone really took offense to me calling it cool. And they said, I like this because this feels really cool. Yeah, whatever. How about taking care of your language to enable yourself to express what you really think or feel? In that case, I would actually care for your rumblings. Now, obviously that's a bit of an unhinged and a bit of a weird comment, but I did say to some people, if I ever said cool in another video, I would try and spice it up a bit. So here we go. This Watchtower software from Blender is f***ing supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So the next thing I want to talk about, or rather just to give praise to, is Polyfjord's new video, the tutorial how to create robotic arms in Blender Part 1, which exploded on the YouTube scene with 26.7 million views at the time of recording this video. I think that's really, really cool to see, really encouraging, and I'm sure that it brought a lot more attention to the Blender space as well. I love seeing inspirational Blender content like this get picked up by the algorithm, because I think it just goes to show that the interest is there, it's very present on the platform. So as you expect, it's a video about making these Dr. Octavius type robot arms. You know, if you've seen the new Spider-Man film, then you'll know exactly what this is about. It's a really interesting one, well presented, very well made. So, you know, props to them, well done Polyfjord, and I'm glad it worked out. And of course, whenever a Blender video blows up, Blender Guru can always be found somewhere in the comments. It's like he sniffs out all these videos for his mailing list. So the next thing I want to talk about is an add-on which I think deserves its own massive video, and I don't know if I'm brave enough to make that video. I've been talking to the creator recently, BD3D, very nice person, and they've kindly offered to help me make the video at some point, but I'll just need to find a way to plan it and fit it into the schedule. So Scatter 5, an absolutely massive add-on for Blender, so many features, and I have mentioned it once or twice on the channel before, but there's just a ridiculous amount of things you can do with it, all related to scattering. And I highly recommend you take a look at the Blender Market website if you ever want a more extensive scattering toolset. God, there's even stuff on here that I didn't really pay attention to. Create dynamic environments with scatter layers that can influence one another. The wind wave feature will create the illusion of wind flowing on your scattered instances, ideal for grassy areas. It's got a really cool amount of biome content as well. I remember really enjoying playing with that. There's some fantastic community made art pieces using it as well. Highly, highly recommend checking it out. Like a 5-star rating, nearly 6,000 sales, individual and a studio license. Oh yeah, that's another thing as well. So lots of optimization tricks for camera culling and what do they call them, proxies and stuff like that. Oh, manual distribution tools as well. That's artistic. Okay, well, I'll stop fanboying about it now. But anyway, like, it's impressive. I'll probably do a video about it eventually. And yeah, it's worth checking out. So the next couple of add-ons as well are from Essential Elephant. And again, they've been very nice. They've been messaging me, kind of asking me to take a look at them. This Asset Maker one did strike me as interesting because it's designed to help you take like all of your texture libraries and convert them into materials which are asset browser compatible in Blender. So you can see that here. Take this, like all of your different materials, and turn them into this, like asset browser materials. And I think that's extremely useful. Asset Maker is a material compiler for Blender 3.0. Its primary function is to set up materials for you automatically with just some simple keyword entries. Organize hundreds of folders in minutes, save time and keep designing, fully integrate your libraries into the new asset browser with style. So I think if there are people out there that are kind of working between different workflows, you know, if you've got a massive texture library that you use for like game development projects, your visual effects projects and Blender projects, this might be very useful for you. It will save you lots of time of having to manually assign different texture maps and stuff like that. So again, there's a walkthrough video there on the main page if you want to take a look. And what else do we have here from the same creator, Colorbox? This one I imagine would be absolutely fantastic for like NPR type work, so non-realistic, because it allows you to build up color palettes which you can use to change the colors in your scene. There's also some really interesting features I've had a look at where, say, look, you can click and drag the colors from the palettes onto color nodes, and also there's this really cool color picking feature where you can pick up to 32 colors at a time from a color ramp like that and like immediately create a palette from those. So it seems to be really well made, really refined and with the artist in mind, but I haven't really had a chance to try it on my own projects yet. But I just thought these looked really interesting, so maybe someone out there will find them useful. Again, I'll leave my affiliate links for these things down below just in case you were interested in picking them up, but there is never any requirement to use my affiliate links. So the next thing I want to talk about is someone that's been doing just absolutely monumental demonstrations with geometry nodes, and this is Blenderesse. I might have pronounced that wrong. They're also on Twitter as well. I'll put their profile up here, but some of the stuff they've been doing is just like fantastic. Let's see. So we have like this spaceship taking off and all this wind going. That's all done in geometry nodes and the lightning as well. Then we have tree generators and how they kind of move with the wind. Then there was a castle generator as well. And you can take a look here at how all those different parameters are being modified to change the layout. This is really cool. So birds flying around and landing on different meshes. And it looks like, here we go, they're combining all of those tools together as well. So they've got like an ivy generator, and they also have a Gumroad profile where you can pick up these tools for a few dollars as well. So they're really breaking a lot of interesting ground with these experiments. And I think it's definitely going to be very educational. I really want to spend some time and sit down with them as well, because I think it's going to massively help me to learn how to maximize the use of geometry nodes. Another new video that you might find interesting comes from Pierrick from P2 Design. This is the person behind the Alive animation course, which I recommended last year. And that course was absolutely fantastic as well. Just like the most definitive, the most useful course for animation for Blender, because I don't think there had been one so comprehensive beforehand. But he's now done this video, The Principles of Animation in Blender. It's 16 minutes long, and it goes over a wide range of different things. You can see all the chapters here down the side. And of course, who doesn't love free content? So if you're interested in animation and rigging with Blender, this video is an absolute essential to check out. It's a nice, pretty well condensed breakdown of all the major aspects of animation that you should know about if you want to become an animator or a rigger and stuff like that. So for a couple of other things, on the BlenderNest channel, we've just uploaded a new nearly 2-hour podcast video featuring James Tralie, our friend who works at NASA, and who some of you might know for their amazing, really beautiful, kind of ethereal, architectural garden-like scenes. Very nice work. Thanks to Paul Kajeji for editing that one. And also my second channel, I've just released a video talking about the feeling of being ashamed when you're not being productive. And also one more person I've just remembered before I close this off, because I don't want to miss them out again. Bad Normals, really cool YouTube channel, making really interesting things, nicely presented videos. Most recent video, Blender 3.1 Geometry Nodes Animation Tutorial. I like their very visual way of explaining things. They have a really interesting sense of humor as well from what I've seen. I like that they're quite creative with their video production style. One video in particular I liked was the recreating Hollywood VFX in Blender. I thought that was quite a creative one, quite interesting, quite entertaining. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. It's always really fun and really encouraging to see people having fun making content for the Blender audience. So yeah, more power to them. See, I think that about does it. I'm going to get back to getting over COVID. Hopefully I don't die. No, I'll be fine. And then I can get on with making you some really cool new content. And also, if we're going to put an emoji at the end of this video, then maybe let's do a heart, because it was just Valentine's Day. And also I put up a nice Valentine's Day post on my social media with me and my partner, my very, very real partner. So yeah, good times. Everyone likes a laugh. Stay safe, everyone. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time.